Before the 1971 Cyclones took the field, Coach Johnny Majors outlined his goals. Enter the Big 8 Conference race undefeated. Finish in the upper division of the Big 8. Win the most games of any Iowa State team in modern history. And go to a postseason bowl game for the first time ever. To accomplish their goals, the Cyclones put their chips on number 15, senior quarterback Dean Carlson. The former junior college All-America passed and ran the Cyclone offensive machine to new school marks in virtually all statistical categories. Carlson teamed with number 12, quarterback turned tailback George Amundsen, for over 3,400 yards rushing and passing and 39 touchdowns. Amundsen, a 6'3", 215-pound junior from Aberdeen, South Dakota, shattered nearly every ISU rushing and scoring record. George was deadly with the halfback option pass, completing 11 of 23, including 4 for touchdowns. The Cyclone rushing attack boasted other stars, like fullback Dennis McDonald, voted the squad's most improved player. The 202-pound senior averaged 4.5 yards per carry, but Denny's crunching blocks were even more appreciated. McDonald's backup man, 6'5", 225-pound Larry Marquardt, also flashed to the fore. As Amundsen said week after week, thank that offensive line. Anchored by letterman Joe Marconi, Gary Murdoch, Bob Bellis, Mike Terrizzi, Ray Harm, and Dave Pittman, the trench fighters opened gaping holes to make the ground game go. And it repelled enemy pass rushes, giving Carlson time to throw. Dean's favorite targets, sophomore tight end Keith Krefley, converted from defensive cornerback during spring practice. The 216-pounder erased the rookie mark set by the great Otto Stowe 3 years earlier. And his 7 touchdown receptions surpassed another school record. Sophomore split end Ike Harris, a lanky 6'5", 210-pounder with great speed, Harris made a big target and became the bread and butter man on crucial third down plays. And flanker Willie Jones, the Valdosta, Georgia Flyer, displayed an uncanny ability to get to the ball. This one, a 37-yarder at Kansas State. When the offense couldn't punch it over, the shoe, senior Reggie Shoemake from Laurel, Mississippi, got the call. Reggie kicked the ball the longest, most accurately, and most often of any Cyclone place kicker in history. Defense was a question mark as the 71 season kicked off. Only 3 regulars returned from the 1970 squad. So with 8 new defensive starters, Iowa State went to work. "24 enemy passes were intercepted, despite an inexperienced secondary. This group of ball hawks improved every week. Opposing quarterbacks came under fire, often. The Sack the Quarterback Brigade was led by Harold Bassett. Converted from tackle to end to better utilize his quickness, Bassett responded brilliantly. He dumped quarterbacks and running backs 15 times for losses of 116 yards. The linebacker corps included first-year star Matt Blair, a strong 6'6", 220-pound junior who's tough to throw the ball over. Matt also led the team with 7 fumble recoveries. And Davenport linebacker Keith Schroeder, who was supposed to be too short, too small, and too slow to play big-time Big 8 football. But in his last 2 seasons, the stumpy senior co-captain nailed ball carriers an average of 18 times per game, a feat that earned him All-America mentions. In the secondary, Burlington junior John Schweizer. John led the team with 5 interceptions. And he gained regard as a tough tackler, like the day he showed Oklahoma's Joe Wiley what it's all about. As a kick returner, Schweizer was always a threat to break one. The Cyclones flew to California to meet the Aztecs of San Diego State. The week-long trip gave the squad a well-deserved chance to relax, as well as prepare for the game. But when the fun's over, Charger Stadium and San Diego State stand in the way of an unbeaten non-conference season. The Aztecs take an early lead on a field goal, but the Cyclones come storming back. Carlson to Krefli for 37 yards. From the San Diego 47, Amundsen throws. Even double coverage isn't enough. Krefli, 46 yards to the 1. Quarterback Brian Sipe, the Aztecs' all-time leading passer, is under heavy pressure, and Blair makes one of 5 Cyclone interceptions. Schweizer saves a touchdown. Carlson throws a pair to Krefli and becomes ISU's all-time career record holder for touchdown passes. And for good measure, this one to Willie Jones. With the game in the bag, Iowa State simply runs over the Aztecs. Goal 1 is accomplished. The Cyclones' second straight unbeaten non-conference season, extending their intersectional winning string to 10 games. The Big 8 Conference, the best in the nation. And it was even better in '71. 3 teams ranked in the top 5 nationally much of the season. The Cyclones' first foe, powerful Colorado.
The big objective going into the Colorado game, which was the opening conference ball game for us in 1971, was for us to establish the confidence and the belief that we could win in the Big 8 Conference, the toughest conference in America today. We had won non-conference games before. We'd won a lot of them. We had shown that we could play winning football. We showed that we could play with enthusiasm and with pride. And a big hurdle, a big obstacle to overcome for us to prove that we could win in 1971 was to see that we could, how far had we traveled since Colorado of 1970.
And the Cyclones were in it all the way against the 5th-rated Buffaloes. Now they really believed. At Kansas State, the Cyclones put it together. Defensively and offensively, handing the Wildcats a 24-0 defeat, the first time they'd been shut out in 44 games. Carlson fires for Ike Harris. A super catch. He's loose. A 64-yard touchdown. Carlson again to Harris, this time on a post pattern to ice the victory. Homecoming 71. Kansas was the foe before a capacity crowd in Ames. And the underdog ranking didn't upset the Cyclones. The defense goes to work early, pinning the Jayhawks down. The offensive unit is ready too. Carlson to Krefli. It takes 4 Kansans to bring him down. Amundsen, a top-flight weight man and hurdler in track, puts it to use. Watch George after he gets inside the 20 on this one. A gaping hole for McDonald. A final, Iowa State 40, Kansas 24. The Cyclones took a 5-1 record to Norman, Oklahoma for a date with the number 2 ranked Sooners, who were sporting the greatest running attack in national collegiate history. The wide game with All-America halfback Greg Pruitt is throttled by Big Daddy Hunt. Pruitt spins off a Blair tackle but loses the ball, one of 7 fumble recoveries by the Cyclones during the day. Carlson sees the blitz coming and hits McDonald out of the backfield for 40 yards. Carlson on an option keeper for a touchdown. Oklahoma kicker John Carroll's boot is taken by Willie Jones at the 5. And look out. Now it's a foot race. Willie outruns 9'3" sprinter Everett Marshall, a 95-yard return.